Welcome into the Picks, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods, your guide to the Texas high school football weekend. My name is Greg Tepper of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are into the final months of the Texas high school football regular season. That's right, it is a 4-week sprint to the end of the regular season. And I mentioned this on Monday's episode of Texas Football Today live, Mondays and Thursdays, wherever you stream, that right now is the time to zoom in. And what I mean by that is we spend a lot of time here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football talking big picture. Which teams are regional contenders, which teams are state championship contenders. And that's obviously important, but I think now is the time to put that off to the side and to focus on what these games mean in the micro. Yes, being ranked 20th in the state is great, but most importantly for these teams is finishing first in district. That is what is most important here, and that's what makes all of these games across the state of Texas in Week 8 a terrific, terrific slate of games. Everywhere you look, we've got big-time matchups. We start in Port Arthur. 7 o'clock Friday night at Memorial Stadium in Port Arthur. It is a massive District 9-5A Division I matchup as the Port Arthur Memorial Titans welcome in the Beaumont Westbrook Bruins. What are the keys to this matchup? Key number one, a stable of Titans. Let's talk about Port Arthur Memorial, undefeated on the year and looking absolutely terrific offensively. This is one of just 7 teams in 5A Division I averaging 50 points or more on the season. And it's easy to see why with their outstanding and diverse run game. Their quarterback, Amonte Martin, has been terrific. Alex Eugene has been excellent as well. You add in guys like Desmond Washington, they can beat you in a variety of different ways on the ground. So with so many different weapons, which one do they choose on Friday night? Key number 2, Westbrook's new superstar. So Beaumont Westbrook is off to a 5-1 start, which is pretty remarkable considering the previous 3 seasons they won a grand total of 5 games combined. Yeah, it has been a revelation there in Bruin country, and a big reason why has been the emergence of their new quarterback, Tam Anderson. The junior has been absolutely sensational, a dual threat guy who can beat you in a variety of different ways. This guy has breathed new life into this offense, and he's a big reason why they are 5-1. He is also a guy capable of taking over this game. So, in a big spot, can Tam Anderson take over? And key number 3, defense first. So we've talked about a lot of the star power on the offensive side, and it's impressive. But both of these teams hang their hat on their defense, and that is a big reason why this is such a big game. 2 of the top 20 scoring defenses in all of 5A Division I. They can get it done in a big way on the defensive side. Zachary Blanchard leads what has been a resurgent Beaumont Westbrook defense, and Tank King on the Port Arthur Memorial side is a guy that the Westbrook offense is going to need to account for on every single play. So with so many offensive stars on the field, which of these elite defenses can come through? Who am I picking? I'm going with Port Arthur Memorial. I'm picking the Titans in this one, in large part because they're at home. Being at Memorial Stadium, I think, is a real advantage for them. When that stadium gets rocking and they are football crazy down there, it is a very difficult place to play. But also, I look at this Memorial team, and I think that they just come at you in waves. They have so much depth and so many different ways to beat you, whether it's offensively, defensively. They're very sound in special teams. I think this is a complete ball club capable of going all the way. Yes, I said all the way. Now, Beaumont Westbrook, I think, has arguably the single individual most dynamic playmaker in this one in Tam Anderson, and he is capable of taking over this ball game, and I think the Westbrook defense will have something to say about it. But in the end, I think the homestanding Titans are your favorite. I think Port Arthur Memorial stays undefeated. Let's go to Austin, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Tiger Stadium in Dripping Springs. It is a matchup of unbeatens in District 26-6A as the Lake Travis Cavaliers visit the Dripping Springs Tigers. Dripping Springs off to an undefeated start this year, thanks in large part to the emergence of their new quarterback, Chase Ames, but I really do think that it is the defense, which ranks 4th in Class 6A in scoring defense, that is really leading the way for Galen Zimmerman's ball club. This is, I think, an under-the-radar, undefeated team that people need to be paying attention to. Meanwhile, on the Lake Travis side, they are also undefeated, and I love the balance they have offensively. I think running back Van Hopping is an absolute dog. I think quarterback Luke McBride has really grown into the role as well, and their defense has been stout. Now, one of the things to watch here is that this is an enormous trap game. Okay, because next week, Lake Travis plays Austin Westlake. You know, Battle of the Lakes, big statewide rivalry. But Dripping Springs is 100% capable of beating Lake Travis if they even think about looking ahead. I think Lake Travis has to be laser focused on Dripping Springs because this is a really good Tigers ball club. That said, I think the Cavaliers get the win. Give me Lake Travis. 7 o'clock Friday night at Gobbler Stadium in Cuero. It is a big-time matchup in 4A as the Cuero Gobblers welcome in the undefeated Sinton Pirates. Cuero was undefeated until last week when Rockport Fulton stunned them, and I think that this was a case of Cuero's defensive struggles kind of catching up with them in a 57-56 loss to the Pirates. We know that Cuero can score, right? Quarterback Jackson Marie, wide receiver Walker Dietz, they've got big-time playmakers that can hit home runs, but the defense has kind of been bend, don't break, and they finally broke last week. They will need to show up in a big way this week against a Sinton team that comes in undefeated, and you can expect a heavy dose of running back Micah Green, who has been terrific, averaging more than 260 yards per game so far this season. That is a huge challenge for this Cuero defense to see if they can bounce back. The other thing about it, I think the Sinton defense has been pretty reliable. I think that gives them the edge. Give me the Pirates. And 7 o'clock Friday night at Woodforest Bank Stadium in Shenandoah. It is a crosstown rivalry in a big way as the Woodlands College Park takes on the Woodlands. Is this the biggest game in College Park history? I mean, it's certainly on the short list, right? They come in undefeated, and what a job Coach Kyle Coates has done for this Cavaliers program. In his third season has really lifted them to new heights. There's a lot to like about this ball club, including their quarterback Camden Hughes, a bevy of wide receivers, and a rock-solid defense led by Marco Beltran. Well, here comes Big Brother. Here comes the Woodlands, and after a hiccup against Willis, they do appear to have gotten their wheels back on. I love this pass rush led by Magnus Herndon. Of course, they've got their quarterback Jack Dalton in tow. Now, probably unsurprisingly, the Woodlands has dominated this series. They have won 17 of the 19 meetings, but you know what? There's something about this Cavaliers team. I think the Woodlands College Park gets the win. The Picks is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Don't have time to go to a Dick's store this week? Just go to dicks.com.
Yo, these KDs are fire. Bro, you work here?
Whatever, kid. Take notes. Yo, I can go all pro in these.
I can guard you and route you up.
You sure about that?
Not anymore.
You fellas looking for a quarterback?
The goal!
Billy needs cleats. You're right, Billy. These do bring out my eyes.
Every shoe for every athlete, only at Dick's.
Dick's is the GOAT.
Those are far from the only big games in Week 8 of the Texas high school football season. Let's get to the lightning round. I like Wellington over Quanah. Wall stays perfect with a win over Coahoma. And give me Wichita Falls City View over Henrietta. Stanford gets a win over Anson. Prosper Walnut Grove wins a pointsy affair over Anna. And in District 11 6A, I like Waxahachie over Cedar Hill. Massive game in District 1 2A Division 1. I like Panhandle over unbeaten Stinnett West Texas. Give me Ozona to stay perfect with a win over Sonora. And I like Wallace Brazos to beat Bowling. I like Odessa Permian over San Angelo Central. In our private school game of the week, give me Midland Christian over Fort Worth Christian. And way out east, I like Timpson over Shelbyville. In our six-man game of the week, I like Menard over Medina. Lindsay bounces back with a win over Collinsville. Give me San Antonio Davenport over Somerset. I like Jewett-Leon over Centerville. Frankston gets a win over Kearns. And down in the Rio Grande Valley, give me Rio Hondo over Lyford. Massive game in 3A, I like Dangerfield over Hooks. Massive game in 3A, I like Columbus over Yoakum. And give me Port Neches Groves over a feisty New Caney West Fork squad. I like Bridgeland over Waller. Paradise gets a win over Peaster. And Orange Grove takes down Goliad. Newton keeps rolling with a win over Kuntz. Munster keeps rolling with a win over Era. And did you know New Braunfels is unbeaten? I think they get a win over San Antonio Piper. I like Midland Legacy over Wolfforth Friendship. Mason gets a win over Harper. And don't look now, but Liberty Hill's back. I like them to beat Pflugerville. I like Laredo United over Medina Valley. Lavernia gets a win over Bay City. And give me Klein Collins over Magnolia. I like Kilgore in a close one over Lindale in a game that may be straight up for a playoff spot. I like Atascocita over Kingwood, and it's the Battle of Georgetown, and I like Eastview over Georgetown High. I like El Paso Eastwood to keep rolling with a win over El Paso Pebble Hills. I like Edinburgh Vela to get a win over McAllen Row, and I like Eagle Pass over Laredo Alexander. I like Dumas over Canyon. Chilton takes down Frost. And Corpus Christi Cal Allen has won 41 straight games against Toloso Midway I think they make it 42. Carthage beats Athens. I like Bremond over Goldthwaite, and give me Burning over Victoria West. I like Barbers Hill over Beaumont United. Argyle gets a win over Mansfield Summit, and give me Amarillo Palo Duro over Lubbock Cooper. I like Abilene Wiley over Wichita Falls Memorial, and A&M Consolidated takes down Pflugerville Hendrickson. And those are the picks. What am I wrong about? Which games I leave out? Leave comments down below. Don't forget that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks for watching. Enjoy week 8 of the Texas high school football season. We'll see you.